Make a motion that we open the meeting.
I second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Okay, so is anyone here to speak at all besides anything that's on the agenda? No. Okay. So let's get started. We don't have minutes, right? Because I have to get you those minutes. I can do those next month.
Yeah.
All right. Anything else new
No.
on the, that came up at all whatsoever? Nothing? Okay, good. Then that being said, I guess we'll go right forward with change of manager, Naxel LLC, Pleasant Street Variety and Package Store. So before we get started, Nicolette, do you want to maybe just brief us on where we are, or do you want to just let them tell
Yeah.
us what's going on?
So I received in a copy of a business certificate for Pleasant Variety and Package Store, which is their DBA. And I received that in as a copy, as a courtesy to our board. So subsequent to that, I sent a letter out to, the gentleman's name, what is it? Majid. I sent a letter out asking for the status of the license. So then Shahid contacted me, and we went from there. He said it was, he still owns the business. It was a change of manager, so I indicated to him that he has to do a change of manager application through the ABCC, and that we would need to get him onto our meeting agenda. So I did not hear from Shahid, so I sent out a letter requesting for him to appear before the board this evening to explain what's going on. And then he did email me back saying that he was going forward with the change of manager. I did not receive that application in a week prior, so if everything is in order with that application, we're not going to proceed with doing any signage, just because there is no Form 43, which I do prepare a week prior, because typically those come into the office a week prior, okay? So we're just basically here to discuss what's going on.
Okay, good. So
Yes.
just state your name and address for the record and let us know
My
what's going
name
on.
is Shahid Habib. I currently own Naxel LLC, which owns license for this liquor license. Our address is 40 to 44 Pleasant Street, East Hampton, Massachusetts. So currently, I own a convenience store there. I have wine, and this gentleman here is my brother-in-law. So he's actually managing the business for me now. So just wanted, I talked to Nicole and we went over, and she said I have to properly apply for, add him as a manager on the liquor license. So that's why we are here.
Okay.
basically.
Okay, so you own the business, but you don't own the property? You
No.
own the property? You
No.
don't own the property, okay. And so currently, your name is on as the manager?
As the manager, yeah.
Okay. All right, and so, and your name is again?
Majid Malik.
So that's,
That's what's on that business certificate. It's,
Majid Malik.
yeah.
That's you, okay. All right,
So, the question at hand is, why did you need to do a new business certificate?
The reason, because I wanted him to have a tobacco license
Okay.
and food license on his name.
Okay.
So for that, you have to have a business certificate.
Okay.
So that's the only reason we had it this way.
Okay.
Yeah. But basically, he's managing the existing business.
Who owns the business?
I own the business.
You own it?
Yeah.
When you contacted the ABCC to find out if he could be a manager, what did you indicate to them was his proof of?
I read that it has to be a citizen.
Yeah.
So I talked to them. I said, I'm doing this, but he has a green card, but not the citizenship. So they said just submit that and we'll go from
So you're gonna submit that to the ABCC?
Okay.
Okay.
How long have you owned the business?
It's, I started in 2013,
2013.
yeah, January 2013.
Who had the business before that?
Rick Verity.
Huh?
Verity.
Rick Verity.
Okay.
Yeah, he sold it to me.
Hmm?
He sold it to me.
So did you ever switch the license over into your name
Yeah, in 2013.
in 2013?
Yes, start of 2013.
And went through the ABC?
Yeah.
Okay, so then, at this point, please.
Went to the Secretary of State's website, and you have not filed any, corporate reports since
Oh, you mean
2014.
annual reports?
Annual reports, yes.
Oh.
Are you going to be doing that? Because right now, you're not in good standing with the Secretary of State, and if the liquor licensing board looks at that, that could be a problem for you,
Oh,
so
okay.
you really need to
It's-
get those updated.
I should have done it, but I'm gonna definitely do it, as soon as I get back. So,
Definitely,
yeah.
you need to do that.
Sure.
Now, I'm sorry, Kelly, what was that now? What-
On the Secretary of State's website, you have to every year put an annual report for,
Yeah.
he's an LLC, and he hasn't filed a report since 2014 was the last report, so he's 2 years behind now. And that could be something that the ABCC is going to look at, because technically he's not in good standing as a company. So
I'll
you just need
definitely
to
do
do
it
that.
before I submit that
Yes.
application.
Yeah, that one. How are you on your taxes?
Say again?
It doesn't have to do with his taxes.
Yeah,
it's with
they'll
the Secretary of
stop it.
State.
Department of Revenue,
Mhm.
it'll stop it.
All right, so we're waiting for the Form 43. You're gonna fill
Yeah.
everything out and send it to the ABCC, then come back to us. Is that the way we're leaving this right now?
Hmm.
Or,
Can I
I
say
mean,
something?
for one thing,
Actually,
in a moment.
as it stands, the green card is not an acceptable form of identification. I contacted the director of the ABCC,
Okay.
and in an email, he said under Chapter 138, Section 26, a manager must be a US citizen. A green card is not acceptable.
Oh,
And
it's
this is
not.
the email that he sent to me. So even if the local licensing authority approved this and sent it through,
They're not
it's
gonna-
not going to get approved at their level. So it's sort of fruitful for, I think, this board to even go forward with that.
So, okay, they told me the otherwise, so,
That's
green
why
card holder, yeah.
Remember how I asked you, did you
Yeah.
get it in writing? And when you indicated that you didn't, I needed to get it in writing.
Oh,
So,
okay. I see.
and this came right from the director. So unfortunately, the green card, it's just not going to fly with
True.
them.
Okay.
Yeah.
In this case, I probably have to stay as a manager there and take care of everything which manager does, so it's not like I'm gone, I'm
yeah.
still there, it's just I wanted to give the responsibility to this gentleman, but
Yeah.
if
I
that's
mean,
not
however you
possible, then-
manage your business is solely on you. But as far as what's on paper, yeah, it's not
Yeah.
gonna.
Okay, I mean, if that's not gonna go through, then
And if
there's
that's
no
how
point
the
of
board, I'm just
doing it.
explaining on my end, because I'm not a voting member of the board, I'm just here to do, backup
So,
paper for them.
would that be
So
any
this is for them
problem?
to,
So, would that be any problem that he got the business certificate? Because he's basically managing other part of the store as well, like convenience store and all
I
that.
mean, I can't talk to
Yeah,
that.
because
I
they're sort
don't
of
know.
they're two separate things, and I know what you're saying, is if you got the DBA certificate and he only had a green card, he didn't have US citizenship, why can't you have that? And I could see, that's a good question, but they
I mean,
are,
this is-
as Nicolette was saying, they're two completely separate things.
Okay.
And this is a local. Did you have to go any further? Did you have to go to the state for
Oh,
him
with
to
the
get?
DBA, no, you
No.
just go to the clerk's office for that.
Yeah, so.
That's right, that's very true.
It's local, it's not state. And you probably would run into the same thing when you go for tobacco, to sell tobacco licensing, you're gonna run into the same thing, that the green card's not gonna be.
No, they can.
Oh, really?
Yeah, they
Okay.
can. I already, he actually already got that license, so,
Okay. Yeah.
that's not a
But
problem.
again, it's, you know, the ABCC has their own regulations.
Okay.
And you are more than welcome to contact the ABCC on your own and contact them. But I highly suggest that you do everything in writing.
Okay.
You know, you can contact the director and through an email or through a letter, but you really should get things back.
Yeah, I'll double check
As
with
proof.
them, yeah.
Yeah?
Yeah, but you got it, it should be that way, I'm just,
Yeah,
was-
just so you know how it came from the director and
Yeah.
this is what
Cause
he,
I called them specifically for this,
yeah, for
because
this.
I read the US citizenship and I called them that
Yeah, yeah, I
gentleman has
remember.
a green card and,
Yeah.
but they told me you just submit that
Yeah.
and, that's what I told you.
Exactly, yeah. But on my end, I need to have backup paperwork, so that's why I went ahead and sent an email, so. But like I said, you know, on your own,
Mhm.
you can do what you like just to follow up and make sure. But this is what we have so far for,
Okay.
okay?
Ma'am, you had a question on this matter?
Yeah, can
Could you
you-
state your name and address for the
I'm
record,
Michelle
please?
Pombriant, and my family owns the building. I have a question, can Majid, so, can Majid still manage the store if Shahid owns it? Is that, like, can the?
I mean, I don't, that's for
like,
you guys.
Like, are you planning on putting all the licenses back in your name?
No, I don't have to have all the licenses on my name. As far as the ABCC is concerned, that, as they mentioned, that it cannot be converted to his name. Like, he cannot be added to it as a manager, so I probably have to stay manager. But he'll manage all the other parts of it.
And that's all right with the licensing board?
It's a good question, actually.
Because I found that, can I start talking?
You can,
Oh, okay,
please.
great. I've been doing my own research on this, about this, and I made you all little packets, if you wanna read along. But, I feel like, I don't know the specifics of it, but it seems like Majid owns the business now, thank you. Because,
Okay.
but I mean, it just doesn't seem like he's just managing the store to me. They've gone through managers before, and they never changed the licensing on the names of all the accounts.
The manager or the owner of the business, ma'am?
No, Shahid's been the owner, but they've had managers in the past. Ben
Unofficial.
Koda-
Like
what?
my employee, I'm just giving him extra
Right.
responsibilities, but that's not manager.
That's a different manager than for a manager for a liquor license.
Okay.
Let me just,
I just-
hold on,
I just
can I
feel
ask you,
like
can
they-
I just
sure.
wanna clarify what your question
Sure.
is, cause I think I understand it. Is it possible for, just bear with me here, cause we wanna get the name straight. You're Majid, right? And you're
Shahid.
Shahid. Shahid is technically the manager.
He's technically the owner.
And now what, just let me finish. So if he's the manager and he is trying to transfer the management to Majid,
Right.
but can't do that, and is still gonna be the manager, but Majid's gonna be working there, who technically is really the manager if he's not technically the manager?
Okay.
Is that sort of the crux of your question?
No. I
No,
just
okay,
can't
I'm sorry,
under-
I'm trying
I just
to.
can't understand, like, there's been, Shahid is supposed to be the owner of the business still, correct?
As far as, yes, that's what I would say, yeah.
Yet he stopped his J. Pollock account, and Majid started his own. That doesn't seem like managing the same store to me. And then, I work for the Daily Hampshire Gazette.
Mhm.
Majid didn't even want to pay Shahid's $12 bill. The manager, the day manager, Mike, that was working, had to tell him that Shahid would pay him back the $12. So it just seems like there's more going on. It's all in the packet if you wanted to try to figure it out.
Sure.
So if you're managing somebody's store, you pay their bills. You don't have separate bills. And then the lottery got cashed out too. And Majid started his own lottery.
Once you finish, I'll allow me.
Mhm. Okay. Thank you. So, from the looks of this, and you haven't had a chance to look at this? Okay. we're
I
gonna-
only made, I didn't.
Okay, well, if you don't mind, we're gonna, since you submitted, we're gonna have them, the opportunity to look at it. But I mean, I guess the crux of this is, there seems to be some real confusion as to who really the owner is, who really the manager is, since, different vendors are saying different things about who's supposed to be paying what.
I can.
The name on, I'm gonna give you the opportunity, I'm just trying to summarize it for you.
Sure.
And the name on, what confused me, and you didn't bring this up, but it's something I was curious about, is that the name on the license for tobacco sales and retail food store permit is actually Maha Incorporated. So, which, is that the name of, is that the same name of the actual? Because I thought the name of the, and which is then different from who's actually paying the rent check, which is also different from what is Maxell, which was originally, what we remember, originally being the people who own the business. So, it's, I'm sorry?
I'm so sorry, the
It's
rent
okay.
check, this is the first check that I got, that got in.
That was
and-
different. That's what you said, yeah, no, I got that, thank you. So, just sum it up for us a little bit, what
As
exactly
far
are we
as,
looking at here?
let's start from the last thing, check, there's
Yeah.
nothing changed. She's getting through my bank for last 3 years.
Okay.
And
Yeah.
she's getting the same check from the same account and everything.
Okay.
So, I don't know what's
It
changed.
just doesn't say
there.
Maxell on it anymore.
It doesn't say Nexel?
It doesn't, no.
Probably, do you see the checking number is same or it's different?
I never got to take a picture of your check
It's
before.
the same
so-
checking, I don't know if they made some change starting with New Year, but, it's the
Did you
same
dissolve
account,
this Maxell?
same company.
So the owner of the ownership of the establishment is Naxal.
Nexel.
Naxal.
And, I have him, I have a management, contract with him, manage that store for me, basically. So, for that, he's managing the store, I'm still on it, he's
Mm.
just managing it.
Right.
And, to be, secure, I wanted to have him his own license, so if he does something wrong, he doesn't come to my license or anything. That's the reason, we did that, and for the J-Pol-Up account and all those, what if he leaves in the middle and there's a lot of balances over, he's showing me something else, you know?
Oh, I
So-
see the reason for the separate, I can kind of see it.
Exactly,
But
so that's the reason I wanted to have everything on his name as far as the operating is concerned, but
Okay, so is
Still owns
the
my-
name of the, let's call him, let's call Malik, correct? The subcontractor.
yeah, basically.
He's a subcontractor.
He's, yeah, manager.
So you've hired him to run the store, and his subcontracting company is Maha Incorporated?
Yeah, mhm.
Okay.
So is he gonna run the liquor store too?
Well, that's what they're trying to do right here with this. That's what
That's what I
they're
was
to
trying,
do.
but if it's not
Now-
possible, then I have.
Well,
to
no,
stay.
we'll
Yeah.
work to that, if we don't know if it's possible, because that's really gonna ultimately be up to the ABCC, whether or not a green card is gonna be enough for him to be able to be responsible for liquor sales.
Sure.
But I think the larger question, which I thought that the question, Michelle, is it? That Michelle was asking is, how is it possible for the subcontractor who is essentially running your store to be selling alcohol if he's not licensed to sell alcohol as the subcontractor?
Yeah, this can be done if I keep all the proceedings from the.
Keep the drawer separate.
Yeah, draw separate as well as all the proceeding comes to me, he
Mm.
doesn't have any part in that. So he's basically as an employee, but all the proceeding goes to me, and if required, we can separate the, register as well, that's not.
So if he's
the
gonna-
Williams account was put into
So
his name.
if he's
the
gonna be
Williams is the
involved
alcohol.
in the business, he's got a financial and beneficial interest in that license.
As long as I keep all the profit, he doesn't.
Right. But one point that was just made that I think is important is that if the vendor who is supplying the alcohol, Williams Distributing, if the account is technically in Malik's name, is that correct? Is
No,
it-
it's
not,
still
it
mine.
wasn't.
It's not.
Yeah.
But the check started coming in from somewhere.
Okay, well, that's fine, I'm sorry, I thought that
Yeah,
that
those
was.
are accounts are still
Okay,
mine.
they're still yours?
Yeah.
Okay, so, does that, and I'm asking members of the board, try to find a correlation to this, if you can, in town, or in experience, where we have a liquor store who has a license to sell, but they subcontract their actual day-to-day business to somebody else who is selling everything else, except for but not licensed to sell the alcohol. I mean, I guess to try to pare it all the way down, I mean, it's no real different in some ways, and you hire an employee, they don't have a license to sell alcohol, you hire them, they're selling it under your license. So who's to say that you can't hire a subcontractor to do the same thing? I'm asking a question here, I don't know the answer to this, I don't know if anyone else here does, if in fact that's a problem. But over and above the issue that we have, that whether or not having the proper, a certificate, birth certificate, just having a green card, if that's just gonna prohibit that from happening at all, but if that's the case, does that then present a larger problem? That's a
If
question.
the guy is selling all the material in that store,
Right,
including the alcohol,
right,
he's gonna have a license to sell the alcohol.
he does,
Okay,
The owner does.
the owner does.
the owner does.
Right,
In essence, he's like an employee, but it sounds like what Shahid is trying to do is not only have him as an employee, but be responsible if he makes a mistake.
Oh, yeah.
But
Yeah.
unfortunately, in my mind, and I don't know if this is accurate, aren't you technically still on the line even if he
Yeah.
does make a mistake?
Yeah.
He is.
Because you're the owner.
Mhm. Yeah,
So,
technically,
did an attorney tell you to do this?
Yeah, I mean,
I officially don't have any agreement with him as of yet, but I'm gonna have
Yeah.
it prepared by the attorney, so.
Yeah,
because if you, I
think
mean,
you
the
need to speak
Pulaski,
to
let's just say
attorney,
the
because I
Pulaski,
think
your
the way you're setting it up,
bartender, you know,
you're
is the
still gonna be
manager
responsible for
and makes a
anything that
mistake and that
happens.
Okay.
results in the
I'll
revocation of the
definitely
license, well, it's on
get
the
it done
owners.
by the attorney.
Yeah, but he's selling it, he's letting his contractor, whatever,
Mm,
sell it,
yeah,
okay? So he's like a subcontractor.
yes, I know.
Okay, so this guy's he's like a second business going in there.
Yeah, but the only difference is a W-2 versus a 1099. I mean, he's still he's not technically an official employee.
No.
I mean, that's
So
what I'm
he's-
asking, is that a problem?
He's not an employee,
is a
he's another
1099
business.
employee essentially a subcontractor? Is it allowable to have them be covered under your license in the first place? Well, that's what we're,
No, it would have to
right
be
now,
under
I would
his
say no,
license.
he can't do it that way.
Yeah, he can.
so I actually think that this needs to
Go.
be an
It's
email
gotta go to legal
drafted.
counsel.
This has to go to the ABC.
It has to go to the ABCC.
Yeah, I mean,
And
the
it
whole
ha-
thing,
It would have
has
to go to
be-
our legal counsel.
Well, I think it needs
yeah,
to go
well,
to the
first let's see what the
ABCC
ABCC has to
first.
say.
Yeah, exactly. I don't think we're gonna, incur any legal expenses on just asking a question.
Yeah.
That the ABCC probably has an answer for already.
Yeah.
Yeah, it
Um,
would.
So I think what the board needs to do is draft a question on how they wanna pose that to the director. And then I think that the board would then need to bring you back and then discuss it with you, or,
Yeah,
Well,
we pretty
could I-
flexible, we
Okay. Well,
ready to do
I
anything
think
which
we'd
is
like to get- we'd like to
Can
get
I
an
say
answer to it.
something from past experience with the ABC is, to save a lot, is when we send them the letter to the ABC, we're gonna get an answer right back saying, talk to your legal counsel, is what they're gonna say.
I'm not sure, Ray,
No, I mean, it's
Yeah.
up to you, but I
Yeah.
know that's what they're gonna say.
An email to the director.
Yeah.
If that's what he says, that's fine, but
Yeah.
if that's not, we saved a step.
Yeah,
I mean,
you
all-
can
yeah.
go ahead,
I mean,
but I know Ralph.
it's a simple little email to him, and if he says that he doesn't have an answer, then we know where to go.
Yeah, well, that's fine,
Yeah,
because I've seen it happen
yeah.
numerous times.
Can I nominate Kelly to draft the language to the ABCC and for the email?
Yeah, go ahead, I'll sign it, I'll second it.
Oh, thank you.
Yeah.
You don't have to.
No, I will.
You will, okay.
I'll do that.
She has the lingo.
I just need to,
lingo.
yeah.
Yeah, that's
I mean,
fine.
you understand what we're looking for here, right?
I'll do it at work tomorrow.
Good, excellent.
Because I have all this stuff. But Michelle, what is your concern as a landlord? What is, why,
Well, we don't allow subletting on the lease,
okay,
so that's a big issue for me.
okay.
And I thought when Shahid originally told me about what he wanted to do, he was just gonna have him do, he told me he was just gonna have him own the cigarettes because of problems with that. And to me, just doing that was subletting.
He probably should.
No, subletting is, Nexel is still your tenant. He is just sharing its responsibility day to day, running the business with somebody else. It's not a subletting. Subletting is that I sell my business to him and I just leave and then he's paying you the rent. That's subletting.
No,
Tell
he
me if
pays
I'm
you the
wrong.
rent, you
He
pay
pays
her.
you
Yeah,
the rent,
so
which is what I
it's
think.
not, I still owns the business, I'm still there and I'm gonna be as a manager because he cannot have it, cannot be manager, so
But he's
it's
still
not a
subletting the other
sublet.
parts.
Say again?
You're still subletting the other parts of the business.
Okay, I'm sorry to interrupt. I mean, that's certainly between you guys. And I appreciate your input, I do, because it sort of helped clarify everything that's going on here. But as far as the subletting, I definitely, that's something you guys need to
Sure,
discuss.
it's just subletting of the business, not subletting of the premises, that's what I'm,
Okay.
but we'll manage
So at
it,
this
yeah.
point, the way we're gonna leave it is, I would love to ask a question to the ABCC, because I think it's an interesting question. to ask,
very it
without a
is.
doubt, and in the meantime, you're gonna have to work through, what you need to work through to see whether or not this is even gonna be possible based on his immigration status.
Okay. I'll find out about that and I'll wait for your email and see what their response is.
Okay.
And probably we'll go from there then.
Okay, great.
Sounds
Good
good,
luck.
Shahid.
All right,
Thank you.
Thank you.
Take
I
care.
have a question.
Oh, yes.
What are those neutralization papers?
Oh, when you become a citizen, you apply and they give you the certificate, so that's what.
No, I was
usually-
not aware about that, that's why I asked.
Great. Okay.
I just put,
Yeah.
the liquor license is in
Nexel.
Nexel.
Yes. Yep. I brought that in.
Yeah, I renewed it this year, so.
Yeah, it's in Nexel. I thought I brought that in for you to review, but yes. No, and that was all fine. That went through. And you approved that in December.
I just want to make sure I have it correct in my.
It's probably on my desk.
Is Michael here?
It doesn't appear so.
Okay, thank
You
you.
all set?
All
Thank
right.
you.
Thank you.
Thank you very much. So you draft a quick letter?
Yes.
Just very- very-
Michelle, this will be continued, just to continue to a date, so just watch the agenda, you can hear about it.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
And I did think that do you want me to make suggestions on what you should write?
Well, if you're gonna tell me what you want in the letter, why don't you
I had a
just
feeling you
shoot
were gonna
me an email in the morning and I will combine the ideas into one letter. Just give me some bullet points
I
and
will.
I'll incorporate
I
it.
like bullet points. I might use dashes and stars too.
That's fine.
Okay, looks like our other invited guest isn't showing up.
And he specifically emailed that he would be.
Correct.
That's it?
Would you like me to request his presence at the next meeting?
Yes.
And a strongly worded.
And are we
Letter.
going to wait a month, or do we wanna meet in 2 weeks?
No, I don't wanna wait
Well,
until.
what about with them if we hear something?
Well, if we
from
hear
them?
something, I can't imagine they're gonna get, they're gonna, well, good point. I mean, I don't think we're gonna do anything for a month, regardless of what the answer is from,
And-
that we get from the
And
ABCC. Now,
anyhow,
the
in 2
only-
weeks, it's President's Day anyhow.
The only problem with any answer that we could possibly get from the ABCC that I see would be if they see a problem with the actual manager of record not actually having anything to do really with the day-to-day operations, because that sounds like what's going on right now.
Yeah.
He's not really managing this place.
He's
This
not.
guy's managing the place. Now-
He's not even there.
Now, I don't, as a matter of just, of the way things work, I don't really see a problem with that, because you hire people to do thing, when you're the manager, you hire bartenders, you hire cashiers. They don't technically have the license either. But it is, the only difference is that they're a subcontractor rather than an employee, which I said, you know, is a W-2 rather than a, you know, say.
Yeah, I have to look
completely different
into
thing.
the business part of it though, because Shahid is manager and agent and everything. No other names are associated with this LLC. So I wanna look at or ask someone who would know if technically he can do that, if that's not, and like I said, he's not in good standing with the Secretary of State as of right now, as far as the LLC is.
That's what I said, I
Could you
agree
raise
with you.
yours, please?
I think it's another country,
Could you shut your watch off, please? It's beeping.
is it beeping?
Yeah.
I don't know, I can't hear.
Thank you. Motion to close the,
Well, I don't know how you say thank you, because I didn't even do nothing to it.
I make a motion that we close the public hearings.
Second.
Meeting.
All in favor?
Aye.
Is it